Today I'm going to talk to you about the 6 things to look for when you're buying a house. Hi, this is Melody Wilson with the RELIFE team at RE/MAX LEAD, just coming to you today to talk to you about what to look for when you're buying a house. So obviously you're looking at the photos, you're scrolling through the pictures and you're seeing these beautiful homes and beautiful pictures, but when you get to the property, that's a whole nother story. So we want to make sure that you're looking for the right things when you're buying a house. So I'm going to talk to you today about 6 things, and the first thing I want to talk to you about is the renovation quality. So when you're out looking at a house that's been renovated, it looks really pretty on the pictures, it looks great, and you walk in and you are greeted with a fresh coat of paint and new floors and all that beautiful cosmetic stuff. But what is the quality? Look a little closer. Look at the floors. Are they actually lining up? Is there subfloor? Are the floors kind of wonky and off kilter? Is there paint, you look up and there's like kind of dribbles of paint on the ceiling? You want to take a look at the quality. Why? Well, obviously little minor things like that can be fixed, but my biggest concern is how is the things you can't see with your eye looking underneath. So the electrical and the plumbing, if that was been done that way, was the electrical and plumbing also kind of shortcutted as well? We don't want to buy a house with a DIY hack job. So I want to take a look at that. You want to take a look at the bones of the house. So in terms of the bones, what do I mean? I mean the roof, I mean the furnace, hot water tank, electrical, windows. Those are all really important big ticket items that are going to be something that you want to consider into the price. And of course, maybe it's already considered in the price. Maybe the listing price already includes that. Maybe it doesn't. We're going to make sure that we look at all the surrounding areas in terms of what has sold, in terms of the condition, and make sure that you're not overpaying, so you do have the amount of money to use in the future if that's something that you want to fix. Now, obviously the bones is not really if you want to fix. It's not like you're updating the kitchen or the flooring. It's very vital, important things that you want to have so that your roof doesn't start leaking when it starts to pour and rain, right? So really important. That's why bones are super important. Another thing I want you to look at is the layout of the property. Are you okay with the 4-level split? Do you want the bungalow or do you want the 2-story? You're not going to most likely going to be doing some massive renovations when you're buying your house, and if you are, then we're looking mostly at the bones and not necessarily about the layout. If you're going to knock the house down, well then none of this is going to apply, right? So you want to take a look at if the 4-level split is a layout you want, or if the 2-story is what you want. That's really important to take into consideration because you can't change that. The other thing that you want to take a look at is the location. So where is this house? Is this house located on a bus route? Is it located on a busy road? You want to make sure that that's something that's important to you, that for one, we don't like you guys buying that because it might be cheaper, but in the future you're also going to be selling for cheaper and taking a lot longer to sell. An ideal location is a cul-de-sac or close to a school, if that's something that is important to you, that you can walk your kids to school, backing a green space, backing a walking path. Those are really great selling features, again, that cost a little bit more money but are definitely worth the money. The other thing you want to take a look at is also the condition of the property. So I would say grandma houses are the best to buy because they take care of the property so well that the carpet, even though it's super dated, is in such good condition that that the house has been well taken care of, including the bones. They're actually the ones that usually have the replaced furnace and the hot water tank. They've taken care of the home over the years. So if it's just cosmetic, that's a great buy and you can just update the property. The last thing I want to talk to you today about is the size of the yard. Now, if you're in a new neighborhood, an old neighborhood, obviously the size of the yard is going to be dependent on the location that you're in. So some people are looking for really big yards, some people are looking for less of a yard because they don't want to do as much work. It's all dependent on what you're looking for, but do keep in mind the other sizes of the yards, because you want to make sure that you're not buying the smallest yard because that's going to impede on your future resale value. So hopefully those tips helped you. If they did, if you think this would be helpful to your friends who are looking at buying a house, please go ahead and share this video. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.